I've talked in the past about how Susan is a Karen and is a pretty bad mother, but I'm not letting her husband Frank so off the hook either. I think one of the things that's apparent right off the bat is that Frank wants his kids to be successful, to the point of pushing them to doing something every single year that they don't want to do, such as joining the swim team. Greg never really was good at sports, and he never quite liked it. But every single time when Frank would go to the library, he'd come home with a stack of sports books. I mean, I'm pretty sure we can all tell that the point of those books was to inspire Greg to get into sports and to keep playing, but not for his own satisfaction, but for Frank's. But that is about the only time he actually takes an interest in his kids' lives, as he likes to spend time in his basement working on his miniature Civil War battlefield. Frank has incredibly low expectations of Roderick, as if he has just practically given up on him. I think one aspect of his personality is made clear during the Ploopy incident. Frank is a narcissist, trying to make sure that he and his family leave a good impression on random people, including his boss. So when Manny starts bawling in the church, he tries to cover his face with the church bulletin. Not only does Frank just want to save himself and isn't going to take this like a man, but he actually could have avoided this entire situation. Remember, Greg only told his mother that Manny called him a ploopy, but he never reached out to his dad. What this means is that Frank is never a part of his kids' lives, and Greg probably doesn't feel comfortable talking to his dad about how he feels. And as I said before, the only time that Frank gets involved in Greg's life is if he truly wants him to do something that pleases him. He doesn't care about Greg's interest in video games and goes as far as kicking him out of the house and hopes to actually dismantle Greg's video game system. Frank is an incredibly irrational person and doesn't even like to listen to his kid's side of the story. He is so focused on ensuring that he presents himself in a nice way that he likes to babysit his son and his father at the same time. His irrationality is also evident where he tries to sneak his family back into Isla de Corrales. They ended up causing so much chaos that they had to get banned from the island. Frank put his family on a watch list for just one day of thrill. Speaking of not taking an interest into his kids' lives, he doesn't even care for Roderick's heavy metal music, perhaps the one thing that Roderick is passionate about in his whole life. In a sign of huge disrespect, he just stands in the back of the gym with cotton balls sticking out of his ears. On top of that, Greg's dad just drives away a bunch of harmless teenagers who are just taking the time to listen to Roderick's music. It's either Frank's way or the highway. And though I actually share some of the qualities that Frank Heffley likes, and perhaps I'll make a video on that later, I still wouldn't know how I'd feel about him if he